Griffin Nation, it is the spring. Spring seasons are here. I'm excited. I know you're excited. So let's get to this. You know me, I want to start on time and I want to end it. I want to finish quick. So we won't be long. We will finish here roughly by about 4:30 is the goal. And I'm so thankful that you joined us today. And for those of you that aren't with us live right now, this event will be recorded and will be on our Griffin Sportsnet for you to view at a later time. Now, obviously, this isn't in person. We are still giving reference towards COVID-19, trying to do some events here a little safer, not to have big crowds all at once. So we do appreciate your patience with us still as we are doing this virtually. I want to thank our coaching staff, the front office. I want to thank in particular Mr. Hawkins for just continuing to help athletics. I stepped out recently. I appreciate all of the thank yous and the support and the letters of just love and appreciation towards me and my new bride. And I'm just thankful for that. I'm thankful for Mr. Hawkins really helping us during that time and stepping up, and many of you were in communication with him, so thank you for that. The great thing about GP Athletics is that we have so many student athletes who play across all seasons. They're in the fall, they're in the winter, and they're in the spring. So most of this information, many of you should know. However, what's different about this year is information is changing every day. Every day stuff changes. Every day protocols change, guidelines change. So I just want to encourage you to listen closely as some of the information may have changed, okay? So we will touch on a lot of things today. And then at the end of the call, what you'll see on the screen will kind of be some screenshots of some major information we want you to have. And if you are a Glendale Prep student, what will happen is through the blast, you will see the information come out that is mirroring what I am communicating today, so that you'll also have it hard copy. And if you need that information, that hard copy information, be sure to email myself at jgarrison@glendaleprep.org or mhawkins@glendaleprep.org, and we'll be sure to share it with you. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about our theme this year. Our theme has been whatever it takes. Since the start of the school year, we've talked about whatever it takes, and that's always encompassed and been kind of utilized to remind us that we will push through this year. We will push through no matter what. We will find a way to let our student athletes play safely and be able to compete with their peers and have their coaching that they want to experience this year. So whatever it takes, I want to remind our spring athletes, if you haven't played with us yet, that's the model, that's the goal, whatever it takes. So our coaches have some goals and some pillars that they've really had to focus on this year. Some of those have been caring, being a caring coach, being solution-minded, being impactful, okay, being able to be adaptable and flexible, and then ultimately being motivational towards our student athletes, okay? So they've really been focused on that, and we want to encourage you as students and as parents in our program to do the exact same. Our hashtag Be a Griff just continues to be something that we want to build on every single year. Be a Griffin through and through. Everything about how we are as students on campus is what I want to mirror in the athletic side of things, and you've known that. Since we've started here, under my leadership, we've wanted to mirror what happens academically, and so I want to continue to push us to pursue excellence in everything that we do. So our spring sports this year, what we're offering. On the high school side of things, we are offering high school golf, that's brand new this year, high school tennis, track and field, baseball, and softball, okay? That's our high school sports. On the middle school side of things, we'll be offering tennis, swim, track and field, and basketball for boys and girls, okay? Once again, you'll see this information at the end. Throughout the call today, if you have a question, you can fill those questions through our YouTube comment section, or you can email mhawkins@glendaleprep.org, and Mr. Hawkins will let me know about those questions during the call. Let's continue. Start dates. When are we starting, Mr. Garrison? I've heard March 1st, March 8th, March 17th. I know. It's all right. That's part of being flexible. That's part of being adaptable. Things are changing. So right now, our start dates are March 1st for high school. That is the earliest we can start. And March 8th for middle school sports, okay? March 1st and March 8th. Now, with that being said, you will really want to make sure that you communicate with your coach immediately following this call, that you reach out to your coach, that you get a part of the communication chain, because what could change is you could start March 2nd based on a venue change for March 1st. You can start March 2nd based on our coach coaching in the winter and finishing a sport, okay? So we really want to make sure that you're communicating with that coach. However, our start date is March 1st officially, so all paperwork should be in by then, and you should be ready to go. March 8th for our middle schoolers. So middle schoolers, you have an extended week, and then we'll start those seasons, okay? Our venues for the year. Practice venues for basketball, we will be here in the Moyes Gym here at GP. And for swimming, we'll be at Arrowhead Country Club as well as tennis. And track and field will be at Apollo High School. That's different this year. That's a new contract. We had to figure out a place for us to continue to run our track program this year, so we are extremely thankful for Apollo in supporting that. We had to move from locations from where we've been, just with the recent changes really going on in the entire economy, and so we're just thankful for Apollo picking it up and helping us out this year. And then for golf, we'll be going to Sun City Country Club. That's another new location this year. And all these addresses will be included in this information as well for you. Baseball will be at Victory Lanes. That's a familiar location, and softball will be at Victory Lanes, okay? So that's our practice facilities this year. Practice times, okay? These will vary. I'm going to give you an overall scope of when you can imagine practices to be. For basketball, these practice times will start to come together after tryouts on March 8th. Okay, once we see how many kids we have, how many student athletes we have, if we have 3 teams on our boys program, we'll be able to adjust that practice schedule fitting. If we have 2 teams, 1 team, it kind of depends on how many of you participate. So we want to see you all out there, all right? Give us that problem of having a lot of teams to find a lot of court time for. You can expect to practice about 3 to 4 times a week if you make the A team. If you make the B team, you can expect to practice about 2 to 3 times a week. If you make the C team, you can expect to practice about twice a week, okay? And then games, our season will encompass about 10 to 12 games in basketball on the year, and that'll be 1 game in the week and 1 game on Saturday, okay, in the season. Going to tennis, tennis will practice from 5 to 6 p.m. for middle school and 5 to 6:30 for high school, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at your location. Baseball and softball will go right after school, 3:30 to 5:30, on select days at Victory Lanes and then other days here at GP. And so your coach will communicate those. Your first day of tryouts will be at Victory Lanes, though. And for swim, they will go Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Again, your first day of your tryouts, you will be at 6:30 p.m., 6:30 to 8 p.m. for swim. And golf will be 4 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday at your location. And track and field will be 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday for high school, and middle school will vary. They will do a few less days. Occasionally at the beginning of the year, you can expect to do more days, though. Let's continue here. And again, if you have any questions, make sure you're putting those in the chat. So game schedules. This year has been so unique, and I want to commend our families so far for the fall and for the winter. I want to just commend your patience. I want to commend you on your patience and your flexibility with us. Our game schedules have never changed as much as they've changed this year. Due to close contact quarantines, due to teams dropping out, they didn't have the participation that they thought, and so many other variables. Then you have your natural variables as well. So I just want to commend you all for continuing to stay with us, continuing to participate. Your game schedules for the high school seasons are still coming together. There are some teams that are still joining the league this year in the AIA. They're brand new golf teams, brand new tennis teams, and some of them are dropping out. However, there are updated schedules as of now on the AZ Preps 365, okay? You can go and view those schedules. Again, you'll see this at the end And those schedules will continue to evolve. I am still working on adding more events. I want to get us as many events as I can. But as of right now, your coaches will know what the schedule is, and you'll be able to adapt and plan your schedule accordingly. Middle school, we will start to work on those schedules again after tryouts. Once the league knows how many teams there are, we're going to be able to put the schedules together. That usually takes us about a week. We'll put those schedules together. We'll get those to your coaches. They'll communicate that with you families, and then you can plan accordingly, okay? On our middle school, let me touch on just what you can expect for games. Track, you can expect 1 meet a week. Tennis, you can expect 1 match a week. Swim, you will have about 3 to 4 meets within your season. There could be a 5th virtually, which would be pretty cool. We'll explain that later. And then basketball, as I said, you'll have about 10 to 12 games on the year. Okay, and so we will do our best to always have teams travel conveniently for our families. I know some of you will have students playing multiple sports, and so you want to try to be all at one location if you can. And so that is something that we will take in mind when we're making those schedules. And then high school, you will have your normal format. You could just expect to have more games in a week. So baseball and softball, you may end up having a 3 or 4 game week, just with the condensed timetable that we're working with here. And then tennis, your season will end around April 20th, but our goal is to get you as many matches as we can in that timetable. And golf, you'll be having a select amount of matches as well. Coach Bruce is working on that. This is, again, our inaugural year. So we're just trying to introduce ourselves to some programs, but we don't plan on just being the newbie. We plan on competing as well. So you can see that. And then track and field as well, they'll have their normal schedule. Kind of our timetable on the seasons will go from March 29th is the first allowable competition for middle school, March 29th, and that'll run through May 9th. Okay, March 29th through May 9th is how long that season is for middle school. For high school, we're going to go from March 12th is the earliest competition can begin. We have tried to stagger our schedules a little further back so that we're not starting right away, and we'll go through May 15th, okay? And again, there will be some sports that finish before that, but May 15th is really kind of the tail end of when seasons can end. I'll continue here. So let's talk about how do you sign up. Maybe some of you, you're brand new to Glendale Prep athletics this spring. You've never played a sport, or you didn't play in the fall and winter. So you're asking like, okay, this all sounds great and dandy. How do I get started? You have to visit registermyathlete.com. That's going to be your best friend. Registermyathlete.com. You will visit that site. You will make a profile, and you will sign up with Glendale Prep Academy. Okay, if you have any questions about registermyathlete.com, you will forward those towards Mr. Hawkins. That's mhawkins@glendaleprep.org, and he'll be able to assist you. However, it is pretty self-explanatory when you get on there about making your profile and just kind of following each next tab and creating your profile. To make this clearer for you, if you've played sports in the past and haven't played recently at Glendale Prep, this is when you turn all your paperwork in. This is when you come to your coach and like, I'm here for tryouts. Here's my paperwork. That paperwork is now on Register My Athlete. So you're going to be scanning that paperwork into that database. To touch on this, middle school athletes, please note that you do not need to complete the brain book part of Register My Athlete. Okay, high schoolers, you will fill out everything except the TMAP link that is just there notifying you that we're doing TMAP. Don't get confused by that, but you will need to do everything on Register My Athlete. Middle schoolers, you do not need to do the brain book part. Okay, physicals are required before trying out. Before doing anything, we need to have an updated doctor's physical. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, please contact us, but it's pretty clear. We need an updated physical before you can participate. Again, that's just for the health and safety of the student athlete. How do I pay for spring sports? Where do I go? So Glendale Prep has our payment portal through Configio on our GP Academy, our school site. You can find our payment portal. We will also include those links in the blast that goes out after this call, and in Register My Athlete communication that we send out. You will see the links for those blasts, for those portals, as well as your coaches will have them as well. So there'll be a lot of ways to get access to the payment portal, so you can make that fee. Please remember, payment should be made before any match or game is played by your student. You must have payment in, okay? Our fees did go up this year. Why, Mr. Garrison? Why are the fees up? The fees are up this year because of the amount and the increase in PPE purchases. Just with COVID-19, we've tried to do everything around here to continue to keep things clean, keep things sanitary, keep our student athletes safe. And so we did have to increase the cost of PPE. And so that raised all fees across the board. So if you have any questions about your fee, any concerns at all, please don't let that turn you away from playing athletics. Please contact us. We have many ways to help and support. But number one goal is to have your student athlete playing with us. So please don't let the fees turn you away. Communication. Communication is huge in GP athletics. Our coaches have the option of communicating through email or Team App. Team App is one of our main forms of communication. It is an app on your cell phone. So what you'll do is you go to your app store. You will download what's called Team App. It's a green icon. Once you have downloaded that app, you'll be able to sign up with a team. And so that's when you'll want to make sure that you're emailing coach, asking coach, hey, what's the name of our Team App? Coach will let you know and you'll be able to join in. Joining the Team App will help you get updated event notices, updated chats. Maybe there was a cancellation due to rain, different things. Our coaches can use that. But please note, our coaches can also use email. Okay, as long as they are using that email to keep everything relevant and up to date, they are more than free to do so. So please note that you can communicate with coaches through email or through Team App, and some of them just do email a little bit better. So, but you still want to download that Team App, as every coach still has a Team App page. So some of the biggest things that have changed this whole school year has been the modifications due to COVID-19. There have been a lot of changes in a lot of ways that we do everything. If you haven't played a sport this school year, then you probably have not gone through the daily check-in. So even though our sports are off campus this year, our coaches will be equipped. They will have a thermometer, they will have check-in forms, they will have PPE, extra mask, sanitizer, all those different things. For check-in. You will come in, you will check in. Every day you'll hear questions. Back in the fall, Coach Webdell had a joke that his kids had memorized the questions. Any fever, any cough, any sore throat, any shortness of breath, and any close contact with anyone with COVID-19. If you ever answer yes to these questions, and of course we want you to be completely honest with us, that day you will not be allowed to participate. Okay, that'll be a 24-hour rule, as we just do, that's part of the protocol. As well as a temperature check. So if your temperature is at 100 or higher, once again, we'll ask you to go home. That'll be a 24-hour monitor situation. You'll hear communication from me about when that student athlete can return. So you must pass that check-in every day to participate in practice. We want to also touch on not coming to practice feeling ill. This is the year that you don't push through, actually, when not feeling 100%. Okay, when you are feeling ill at all, we want you to make sure that you feel better first before returning to practice, before returning to a game. Our coaches will have many guidelines that they have to follow as well. Please note that every coach, middle school or high school, will be masked up. Our middle school coaches will be allowed to wear a shield as well. They can wear a shield or a mask. On the high school level, just with the AIA policies, they must be masked up 24/7. Your student athlete must check in every single day with a mask on. Masks are required at all times that you are not competing. In practice, high schoolers, you can wear a mask. Mask will be optional in practice. However, in your matches, in your games, in your meets, as of right now, masks are required for all sports. All sports, every sport in the spring, masks are required. Now, there is going to be an executive meeting here next week. And things could change about that mask mandate. That mask mandate came out this year. However, masks will be required in all sports. Now, middle school, masks will not be required during meets in the actual event that you're playing. They'll be required when you are waiting, when you are on the side. So if you are in swim, mask is not required in the pool. If you're in tennis, if you're in basketball, the mask is not required on the court. However, for the other high school sports, as of right now, masks are required. Okay, again, that can change, but this is something that came out in the winter, and so we are still abiding by that. To continue to touch on some of these guidelines, please note that all coaches and students for the high school level must complete 10 practices before they play a game this year. Okay, 10 practices of any kind, any sport, you must have 10 before your first game. So what that means is when we start tryouts, you want to be on time. You want to be attending these. If you have a game that's scheduled March 12th, and we're starting March 1st, that means you have 12 days to get your 10 days in. And again, we have weekends and we don't practice on Sundays. So we're going to encourage you. You want to be at these practices. Our coaches are going to have to take attendance to make sure that you've had your 10 days of practice in before competing. That is an AIA rule. For the middle school, there is no rule in the spring about how many days prior to playing. Okay, so middle school, we just want to make sure that you're at practice. That's, again, for you getting acclimated with the team, and then we'll go ahead and you'll be allowed to play in those games. Another modification of the chains, in the fall, we had limited fans. At the start of winter, we were told no fans. Then in winter, it changed to few fans. And now across the state, it's at school discretion. However, as a network, we have stayed with 2 parents per student athlete in the winter, and that was for our high school teams. And then in the middle school teams, we let 2 spectators. Okay, and in the spring, we'll have another conversation about what that looks like for our spring sports. That meeting hasn't happened yet, but once we have an idea of what Great Hearts and Glendale Prep will do for our own fan policy, since all of our sports are pretty much off campus except middle school basketball, we will let you know. We will inform you of our fan policy. When you go to an away location, that is going to be at that school's discretion. If that school says no fans, it's no fans. If that school says everyone can bring 10, everyone can bring 10. So again, this goes back to the beginning about being flexible, being adaptable, being ready to do anything, whatever it takes to let our students play. Okay, and again, if you ever have any questions or concerns about a policy, please let me know, because I will typically know every policy about a school that we're going to go play, because I'll be communicating that to your coach to communicate to you. So if you have questions about it or you're concerned about, hey, how am I supposed to do this? How are we supposed to figure this out? We can help you. Or you can ask a winter and fall parent on how they dealt with it, because it is different this year. However, we won't make any excuses, and we'll push forward, and we'll let our student athletes be able to play. Ways to stay involved. Our GOATS program. Our GP GOATS are part of our Glendale Prep operations and team support team. Okay, these student athletes, some of them play sports in other seasons, and some of them don't play, but they love to help. They love to support. If your student loves just being helpful, loves being supportive towards other teams, they love watching the game, maybe they don't want to play the game, please, we encourage them to join us. One of the difficult things about the spring is we have so many teams off campus, but they still need help. They still need helping hands. And so we want to encourage any students who are interested in being a GOAT to contact myself or Mr. Hawkins about your interests. We'll set you up. We had a couple join us today. We're excited about for the spring, but we're still looking for more because our GOATs help everything run. In the fall and in the winter, we couldn't have gotten through our seasons without our GP GOATs. They help from everything from setting up to tearing down to helping encourage student athletes, all kinds of ways that they support the GP athletics. So we want to encourage you. If you're interested in being a GP GOAT, please reach out and we'll get you set up. Our athletic parent organization. Our athletic parent organization is our parents that volunteer at different games. Okay, they show up, they work the gate, they work the scoreboard, they just help. Wherever they can find a way to help, they help. And in the spring, we plan to do a couple events ran by the APO, just some community events. Hopefully we can do them socially distanced and be able to enjoy ourselves, enjoy our community, and just continue to spread joy throughout GP. However, if you're interested as a parent, you're like, hey, I want to get involved, I want to support. I don't want to just sit on the side. What can I do? Can I hold the clipboard for coach? Can I keep the stats? What can I do? You want to contact us about that, we'll get you in contact with Mr. Terpstra. Mr. Terpstra will get you set up and get you helping out. Last couple things here. GP photography. We want to thank Mr. Lom and Mr. McBee. They are volunteer photographers, and they help us all year long. They support the fall, the winter, and the spring, and all those really cool pictures that you see on our social media, that you see on our website, that is by the hands of them. If you visit GlendalePrepAthletics.com and you go to the More section, you'll see a GP photography section. You want to click that. If you are ever interested in purchasing a picture of your student athlete, that is where you can do it. We have a ton of pictures on there, pictures from every match, meet, contest, you name it. it's there. And we want to thank them for that. They intentionally make sure that they get as many shots as they can of each student athlete so that you as a parent can keep those memories with you forever. And so we do want to thank them for that. You'll see them at the games. You'll see them at the events. They'll have a hat on backwards with their cameras, and they'll just be rolling around the field, running around the swimming pool, anywhere that they're at. They will be there. And they'll be supporting GP. So we just want to continue to support them as well. And again, if you visit GlendalePrepAthletics.com in the More section, you'll see GP Photography. Go ahead and click there, and you can get those pictures for your student athlete. As we close, I do want to touch on something that happened in the winter that we were able to add in the fall. It was more contracted out, but now we have a consistent individual who we've been very thankful for. Our new athletic trainer, James Imhoff, he will be with us continuing in the spring. So you will see him at different events. You'll see him on campus every now and then as well. He is there to help with some of those nicks and bruises, some of those injuries. Okay, that's James Imhoff. You'll see him there. That is our athletic trainer. And if you have any questions, we can give you his contact information as well, or you can find it on our athletics website. And in the spring, we'll be adding a new element to GP Athletics. This is something we're very excited about. You will get this email. You will see this announcement. But we are planning on hiring a strength and conditioning coach. He is already getting ready to go, getting situated, and so we're excited to announce that here soon. I'm not going to reveal that today. However, we are excited to get that going. This will be another way that GP Athletics will move forward. Another way that we're going to do whatever it takes to get better. So we can come back next season, no matter what protocols, no matter what's going on in the world, that we can come back next year motivated and better than ever, and ready to compete in the next school year. As we finish, if you have any questions whatsoever that you don't ask today, that I don't hear from you today about, make sure that you email us. Again, my email is jgarrison@glendaleprep.org. Mr. Hawkins is mhawkins@glendaleprep.org, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. Stay connected with us. If you don't follow us on Instagram, follow us. It's GP Athletic, DEPT. That's Glendale Prep Athletic Department. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, Glendale Prep Athletics. And then again, subscribe to the Griffin Sportsnet. Right now you're watching. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. That is something that we started this year. I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Klein, Gabe Klein. He has helped us start that Griffin Sportsnet. That is one of our teachers on campus, and along with other teachers who are our commentators, students who help run the camera, help run the PA in the background. This is a student and teacher-led effort, and it's amazing. We have one of the best live streams in the state, and that is all from teachers and students who run that. And so please subscribe, support us. We plan to try to do this in the spring. We're going to make the best effort that we can. With most sports not being on campus, we can't promise anything. However, if you know anything about us, we are going to do our best to try and see what happens. And so stay tuned for that. Hopefully we can figure out some things here in the spring. And if you haven't already, make sure that you visit the GlendalePrepAthletics.com site. That's where you'll find a lot of information, even some of our COVID protocols in the More section, any of our guidelines, our coaching staffs. You'll see some pictures there. You'll see emails. And that stays pretty up to date with our schedules as well. We do ask for your patience with the schedules. They may change. Sometimes they may be a little off. This year, there's just a lot of changes, but we do always appreciate the email of, hey, is this game still on? Or contacting your coach first and making sure, because we can fix those things as soon as possible if needed in the event that they are not correct. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if we have any questions. If we do, I'll answer those really quickly, and then I'm going to let you guys get out of here. I'm not checking the time. Yes, I am, and I think I'm under my time limit because I didn't plan to be long, but I did plan to be strong. So I will check on those questions right now, and we'll hopefully answer some of those. So let's see. Do we have any questions? Okay. I think we're pretty good right now. Hopefully that means that you feel like all of our information that we've provided you today is helpful, and you feel like you have an idea. Once again, high school seasons, you're right around the corner. And I know this came up pretty quickly here, but we can't change our policies on when a physical is due and what registration looks like. We have to get that registration complete. So please make sure you go to registermyathlete.com today. Get your students' information in there. Get that physical appointment figured out, and make sure that they're ready to go at least by the 1st. Today, what you'll want to do is when we leave this call, what we would have done in person is we would have had all of our coaches in the gym. You would have been able to go to breakout tables and see each coach. What we'd like to do is be able to give you an opportunity to make sure that you contact the coach. We'll put up the contact information here at the end of the call, and you'll be able to contact coaches. Now note, these are point of contacts. These are not the entire coaching staff. So not all of our coaches are listed there, but the coach that is a point of contact is a part of the coaching staff of that sport, and they'll be able to direct you on when and where and how will tryouts begin and where your kid should be and what information is needed for you for that. I think we have a question here.
How soon will we hear from our coaches?
How soon will we hear from our coaches? So what that'll look like is our coaches don't know how to reach out to you if you're not already on their contact list. So if you're not on the coach's contact list, if you haven't been in communication with that coach, you'll want to make sure to reach out to these emails that you see here on the screen here soon and let them know your interest of playing on the sport and kind of that information of what's going on with the tryouts. We also will make sure that we blast tryout information when it's 100% solidified. So some of that information may come out this weekend for the high school for Monday. Some of that may come out early next week for the middle school the week after, okay, with those exact times. But your coaches will also be echoing that in their own emails, okay, to you. So make sure you reach out to your coach, let them know you would like information as it's coming out, just to double check. And if you've already done so, you're on top of it. You're not missing anything. But today's call was really to give you an idea of when to be ready, when to expect more information, what location to be showing up at, and hopefully that's going to help you out. I think that does it for our questions. Once again, if you have anything at all, please let us know. We're here to help you out. We're here to give you information. I know this is quick, and I know even some of you may have some questions that you feel like you need to really just personally address with us, and that's fine. If you have any concerns about COVID or the measurements that we're taking to make sure that we're continuing to provide a safe environment for our student athletes, please let us know. We'll always field those questions. So we'll leave you with just remembering that our goal in the spring is to be one of the most competitive programs who's also doing it with excellence. We want to go out into every single game, into every single match, expecting excellence out of ourselves and expecting our best effort so that we can leave Glendale Prep's legacy better than we found it every single day. And so we want to encourage you middle school athletes, you high school athletes, to just keep working, get ready to go. March 1st is the earliest it can start for high school. March 8th is the earliest it can start for middle school. Get that Register My Athlete done, contact that coach, and you're ready to go. You're ready to rock. So I hope this has been helpful. We look forward to seeing you again. Again, I'm Mr. Garrison. I'm your athletic director, and I guess we'll see you later. Have a great night.